Today, I wanted to do my makeup on camera. Ooh. Do my makeup on camera and talk about body image because it is something that I have struggled with since I went through puberty. And I know a lot of people struggle with it, and I know it probably seems disingenuous to talk about these things when I am actively struggling with them, but I feel like if I talk about it openly and publicly, it's a little more in front of me. And yeah, I got a new beauty blender the other day, and this one's wet, obviously this one isn't, but just like, it's so busted and like disgusting. I can't wait to ruin this one. I'm sad that I got yellow. I got a lucky pack and it's yellow. Kind of sad about it, but whatever, you know? It's cool. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you in a little. Hey, let's get well acquainted. Okay, so, like I said, I have struggled with body image since I first went through puberty. I was kind of a picky eater when I was a young kid, and I was also like stick thin as a kid. And when I went through puberty, all of a sudden, I was no longer like that super skinny kid. And yeah, basically, I just went from being the skinniest, like tallest girl in my class almost. In middle school, I was like the second tallest. To gross, that's gross. Okay. To just being like average height, average weight. And because of that big change, I developed a very, I guess, weird relationship with food. Weird's not necessarily the right word, but basically the easiest way for me to categorize it is not necessarily an eating disorder, but disordered eating. I've never really felt comfortable saying that I had an eating disorder because it's been very off and on between like restricting and binging a lot, or like a lot of emotional eating, and then a cycle of like restricting again. And it's never been a solid enough like pattern with solid enough physical consequences that I would be diagnosed with an eating disorder. Because too, when I first started going through all this, I did a lot of like papers and projects on eating disorders because I was 12 and like stupid. And I'm sure a lot of other people who've had like disordered eating problems, you know how it is. But anyways, currently I am at a lower point with food and my body image, and it is at a point that is kind of really scary because it's kind of on like what do you call it? Like a teeter-totter, you know? It can go one of two ways. And that's like freaky. I don't know. I just feel like I thought about this a lot, obviously, because this is like my everyday life. But so many women, or like people who were raised as women in my life, have had disordered eating or a full on eating disorder. And I honestly don't think that I know, like, I don't think anybody in my close, like, friend circle has not struggled with disordered eating. And I just think that that's kind of, like, super ultra fucked up. I really think that that is telling of our society. I mean, obviously, like, eating disorders are already a big problem. You know, everybody, like, knows that. I'm not gonna tell you anything new there. Also, yeah, I look like this, but you know what? I baked my face, so. I don't know, because I want to talk about these things because, like I said, it helps me feel like I have it a little more out in front of me, and that's helpful in, like, being aware of it and stuff like that. But I also don't feel like I am at a place where I can try to help other people. You know, if you're currently, like, actively going through something, you can't really say, like, oh, blah 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 and blah 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 really helped me. You know what I mean? I don't know, like, especially too because eating disorders are so intricate. Like, there's so much complicated about them. You know, they can happen for a variety of reasons, I guess you could say, which makes it just hard to kind of give advice, because it could stem from so many things. Like, it could stem from sudden changes in your body to, like, desire for control when you feel like you don't have a lot of control in your life. It could come from low self-confidence and wanting to, like, raise that confidence via changing your body. It could come from, like, trauma and emotional eating and shit like that, you know. Like, there's so many reasons. And I'm not a professional, you know, I'm just a girl living my life, and that life happens to be plagued with, like, body image issues, you know? To be honest, I don't really know if I have a point to this at all. But I just feel like it's important to talk about it. Not that it's necessarily not talked about a lot, because definitely eating disorders have gotten a lot more awareness in the mental health field. It's weird too, because, like, when you have, like, body dysmorphia, you never, like, I don't know, you never really know what you look like, but also you're very acutely aware of what you look like, which is kind of like hell, you know? And I never really realized how much my body eating issues have affected me until I like watch a show or a movie or something, or I see people in real life who just all the time like effortlessly have a meal or a snack or whatever. Because I mean, sometimes if it's effortless for me, you know, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, you know, I'm eating lunch because I need to eat lunch, or because XYZ food sounds good, or because I want to treat myself. But then I also have to think of the fact of the times like where it's not effortless and it's something that I think about and like weigh the options in my head, and I realize like, that's not very healthy. And I don't know, it's really harrowing to kind of like have those moments where you realize like, oh shit, you know, that's not healthy, that's not a normal train of thought. Like, it's kind of fucked, you know? It's really weird to be in a place with your body where you kind of don't know where you are with it and your issues mentally, and you're just kind of like living day by day like, you know, how am I going to treat my body today? And it sucks because I want to have more to say about it and like more to like help with, but all I really got is like, you know, you gotta try to take care of yourself. You gotta try to see your body as somebody else to take care of, or to take care of it like you take care of your friends or your loved ones or your kid, you know? But that's hard when you're like, okay, well, I'm not any of those things. I'm me and my body, and I can do this to my body, you know? I don't know. I wish this was easier to talk about and I had more of like, I don't know, an idea, I guess. I think the hardest part is probably seeing yourself in other pictures and videos that like you didn't take. That for me is the hardest. That for me is when I'm like, oh, that's what I look like. You know what I mean? And it's really weird too because like a lot of my self-confidence issues don't really actually like revolve around my physical appearance. Like obviously I'm like at odds with my body and there's things that I would change about my face, but I also have a really weird stance with plastic surgery, which I can get into in a different video, you know. But it's weird because you feel like you know you're this person on the inside, and you can view your body as like a vessel for your soul or whatever. But then you see what that body looks like, and you realize how that body really determines a lot of things about your life, how you're treated, what opportunities you get, how you're perceived, blah, 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 you know? And you're like, well, shit, like, I didn't have any control about having this body when I was born, you know? I didn't decide those genetics, but now I can do something about it, and it's like, it's just a lot, you know? Like, you're like, shit, because also at the same time, you can only control so much about that body because genetics are like 90% of you or whatever the fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just all so complicated. I think it's especially difficult too because a lot of times in my mind, I see a different physical version of myself. So being confronted with the reality physical version of myself, especially in seeing other pictures or videos of me, the disconnect versus what I see in my mind versus what I see in real life is like jarring, you know, because you're like, oh, I think I go about my life like looking like this, but I don't look like that. I look like this, and that's so different from how I think I look. And oh my God, do other people see me like that? Because that's so different from what I see, and I don't really like it. And if other people see me like that, then how are, like, what do they think? You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess the point of this is that I am trying to live for health, trying to live, like, treat myself on the basis of what is good for my body, and trying not to focus on what my body looks like, because you can be physically healthy and look 5 million different ways. And I am trying to be less caught up and worried about how I am on the outside or how I act or the physicality of myself and my being within reason. Like, I don't want to go around being a huge asshole, you know, but I have spent a lot of my life lately just like being very anxious about like everything I do, like all of my social interactions and everywhere. I just feel very judged lately for like fucking the past year and a half, I guess. I'm trying to stop that. So if you are also struggling with body stuff and eating stuff, know that at least like you're not alone, dude. I get you. And I know it's really fucking hard. It's really hard. But this doesn't have to consume our whole life. I know at times it really feels like, oh my God, is this going to be my whole fucking life? But it doesn't have to be, you know? I can't tell you the magic words that are going to make it, like, disappear or make it better, because I would have done that for myself by now, but we can survive, and we can learn to be happy with ourselves, and to treat and nourish our bodies nicely. I don't think food and our bodies always have to be a war, because I definitely know that it feels like that sometimes. It doesn't always have to be like a bargaining game and some weird gamble exchange thing, because it's fucking stupid, dude. We're just people, and we need to eat to stay alive. We need to eat things that are nutritious more than we eat things that aren't nutritious, because otherwise you're gonna feel like crap all the time. You're gonna feel even worse if you don't eat at all. And getting some light to medium exercise every once in a while is beneficial. So, life is weird. Bodies are weird. Genetics are weird. Everything's weird. So we should just be chill with that. And just be like nice people and work on achieving our dreams. Yeah. That's what I think. So, you know, I don't know. This was honestly mostly just rambling. But hopefully it was entertaining. Or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. I'll put some, like, hotlines or whatever in the description. I don't know. We can get through this, I guess. If you're looking for a sign to keep going with, like, you know, being alive, not with negative behaviors, but if you're looking for a sign to keep fighting, I guess, this is it. Okay? So, cool. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.